everybody. Welcome aboard. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and it's your luckiest day of your life. You've tuned in to Fire Your MD Now. To call me live on the show, it's 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Visit me also 24/7 on the World Wide Web at fireyourmdnow.com. Fireyourmdnow.com. Now, we had a testimonial lined up because today is Testimonial Tuesday, but the gentleman was unable to make it. We are trying to dial that in for later on this week, so I'm going to keep you posted there. I'm going to change it up a little bit today. We are going to go straight to the phones, and people that are calling in with testimonials move right to the front of the list. And remember, my eyes are blinded here on my end. I don't know whether people that are calling in have good things to say or bad things to say or whatever it is. And we don't screen calls here, right, like they do on the like on the Rush Limbaugh show, right, or anywhere else. You call in, we put you in the list, and we take a chance with what we're going to talk about. And by the way, if you disagree with anything that I'm talking about, call me up. I'll move you right to the front of the list because, scholarly debate is welcome here, because what I am attempting to do is lift people into knowledge, because like the fella said, you don't know what you don't know. So we're going to go right away today to Bill, who has arthritis, and he's calling with a 4-week follow-up. Bill, you are live with Dr. Glidden. Thanks for calling back.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I want to say it is definitely better. There's no question. But a couple of things happened in between. I have a long time ago I fell, and I have some bulging discs. So the day that the product arrived, it acted up again, and I couldn't move. I absolutely was in complete pain. And I've gone to some chiropractic care since, and he's gotten me straightened out again. So things have gotten definitely better with the hip, but I still can't really touch my right toe very well. It's hard to put my shoe on, and I can walk better, I can move better, but there's still a fair amount of pain. And I was wondering, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease 10 years ago. I was wondering if maybe there's Lyme still in that hip, and maybe that's slowing down the healing process, that it hasn't gone further yet.
No. I can't tell without doing some blood work or taking a symptom history, but I doubt it very much. But anyway, let's put this all in perspective, Bill, because from the proper perspective, everything makes sense, right? So, how old are you? How tall are you? And how much do you weigh?
I'm 53. I'm 5'6", and I weigh 160.
Okay, and how long have you been suffering with arthritis? About 45. I had to stop playing basketball. They wanted to cut me open then. So it was about 9 years?
Yeah, something like that, 8, 9 years, yeah.
All right. Now, and where do you experience the arthritic pain in your body?
Right now it's only very much on the right hip, right on the ball joint there, right where if you push your fingers on it, you can feel it. Other than that, it's nowhere else.
Okay, so you've got localized arthritic pain in your right hip, right?
Uh-huh, yes.
And you also have bulging discs and chronic low back pain?
It's mostly in the upper back. It's C4, 5, and 6. He measured me. He told me I'm 84 millimeters out of line.
Okay, so do you experience pain in the upper part of your back on a daily basis?
I have for a long time, and I learned to tune it out. And as he's been fixing me, I'm feeling it again, but he's getting me straighter.
Okay, and you've been following my advice for 4 weeks, right?
Yes, sir. I think I cheat a little bit with some cookies, but I'm pretty good with the gluten, and I've been following the stuff you told me to stay on. And
okay, good. So which pains in your body have improved?
I think generally all of them have gotten better.
Okay, so all right, so let's qualify it. So 10% better, 20% better, 50% better. How much better have the pains gotten in 4 weeks?
Good 20, 25% better, no question.
All right, excellent. Okay, good. All right, 20 to 25% better. So here's the deal. Once we secure specific and measurable and noticeable results here with medical nutrition, and then it is only a matter of time until your body fixes this problem to the degree that it is able to fix it. And this is the fundamental difference between the holistic let's fix it approach and the reductionistic let's medicate your symptoms into submission approach. And that's how MDs would approach this. They'd give you pain medication, right, until your hip got so bad that they just were salivating, waiting to put in an expensive titanium hip, right? That's how they would fix this. You know, it's a lot more labor-intensive to fix the mold than it is to just paint over it, right? And, you know, another metaphor, if you plant a tomato seed on Monday, you're not going to be eating a tomato on Tuesday. But in 6, 7, 8 weeks, you're going to be eating a tomato, excuse me, because that's how long it takes the tomato plant to grow. And there are some things that you just can't force. Now, I'll give you a little insider information. The old-time naturopathic physicians said, as a rule of thumb, once you get on board with a therapeutic that produces results and stimulates healing, it takes the body approximately 1 month for every year that you've had the problem to get on the other side of it in a big way. So you've had this condition for at least 10 years. That means it's going to take at least 10 months. Now, in the first month, we've gotten 20 to 25% improvement, man. I think that's pretty good. So, you know, what's going to happen next month is 30% improvement, and then 40%, and then 50%, and then 60%, and then we're off to the races. So really, we don't need to do anything different. You just need to hang on to this therapy. You need to dial this in, baby. You need to make this a part of your life. Really go the extra yard here, man. Throw out those cookies that have gluten in them. Be 100% spot on this diet by starting July 1st. I'll give you a couple more weeks to cheat and dial this in. But starting July 1st, man, I want you to be 100% on board with the diet and be diligent about taking the nutritional supplements every day. And as you go further down the track here, this is as predictable as gravity. It can't not work. The only variable here is how diligent you are with the program. And you know really how much time it's going to take your body to sort this out. And I can't predict that, but I can tell you what the old-time naturopath said as kind of a ballpark rule of thumb. So, you know, don't be worried about anything extracurricular like Lyme disease or Candida or whatever, right? 20% improvement in 4 weeks is awesome. Let me tell you, that's awesome. It's really, really good. You're on the right track. The only thing that you need, man, is just a little bit more time. So I'm going to encourage you to maintain the discipline. I don't want you to change anything. The only thing I want you to do is dial in the gluten-free diet 100%, all right? So be 100% good with the good food, bad food diet. Continue to take the supplements and give me a call back in 4 weeks. You're going to be 20% more better 4 weeks from now, okay? All right. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Up next, we have, it looks like, Butch with a question about tangy tangerine. Butch, thanks for calling. You're live with Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. Joe Frazier ain't letting me off the ropes. This last Thursday, you had a fella call up, and he was having a problem with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, so I listened really close.
Yeah.
And you told him to stop for 3 days and then cut it in half and then start again. I don't know how well he did. Well, I waited one more day, and I took I took a half of a scoop about 2 hours ago, and within 30 minutes, I had to run to the bathroom again.
All right. You had half of a scoop. You put it in how much water, and how long did you take to drink it down?
It was 16-ounce glass, and I tried to work it better than a half an hour, but I couldn't leave it alone. I just kept drinking it, just sipping it.
Yeah.
But,
so you were sipping it, and within 30 minutes it was gone, and then 30 minutes later you were running to the bathroom, right?
Right.
All right. So that experience means that particular supplement is not good for you. And also, it's an indication, and let me kind of explain this to you because it's important really that you understand what's going on here, all right? Well, for instance, if you took a lemon, you cut a lemon in a wedge, and you took that lemon and you squeezed it onto the skin of your hand, the lemon juice on the skin of your hand would do nothing. But if you had a cut in your hand and you squeeze the lemon juice into the cut, man, it would sting like a son of a gun, right?
Right.
All right. Well, when your digestive tract is damaged and compromised, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, in some cases, and you're one of them, is going to irritate and aggravate your digestive tract. Now, it's not because there's anything, bad in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It's just because the concentrated nutrients that are in there, your gut does not have the ability to uptake that stuff. And there's 112 or 114 fruits and vegetables in there, man. That's a really concentrated supplement. And it is entirely possible that you are having an allergic reaction to one or more of the fruits and vegetables that are jam-packed into that nutritional supplement. Whether that's happening or not, I don't know, but here's what I do know. Your digestive tract has been compromised by decades of eating all the wrong food and not having enough nutrition, right? Because you didn't know any better. It's not your fault. It's your doctor's fault, quite frankly. You're in this pickle because you went to the wrong doctor. You went to the wrong doctor because they monopolized the medical theater. It's your doctor's fault. It's not your fault. So what needs to happen here, this is drop-dead diagnostic that you, more than anybody else who's listening to this radio show, and everybody needs to be doing this. You really need to be 100% gluten-free, man. I mean, I don't even want you looking at gluten. You know what I mean? You really have to avoid that stuff because it is the gluten that was the cause of the destruction in the intestinal tract that made this intolerance to the Beyond Tangy Tangerine a problem. So I would just switch out the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You can do Tropical Plus. You can do Ultra Body Toddy with Cell Shield, or you can do the Anti-Aging Daily Packs, and that's a little vitamin. It's not a powder. My personal favorite is the Tropical Plus. Switch it out to the Tropical Plus. See how you feel. We're talking to Butch, who's had a problem taking the Tangy Tangerine. So, yeah, Butch, this is an indication here. You really have to tighten up the gluten-free thing. I mean, that has to be a big deal for you. Just stop eating gluten 100%, number one. Number two, switch out the Beyond Tangy Tangerine to something else. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen in the listening audience, if you need to return any supplement for whatever reason within 30 days of taking it, the Longevity Company is going to give you your money back. So just call customer service. That number is 800-982-3189. That's 800-982-3189. They'll work it out for you. They'll send you a UPS call tag, and then you can order something else. What I would do in this case, Bill, the next thing I would try, Butch, the next thing that I would try would be the Tropical Plus. And the recommendation there, that's a liquid. It's 1 ounce per 100 pounds of body weight twice a day. And when you take that, I would put 1 ounce in 16 ounces of water, and I would take at least 30 minutes to drink it down. See how you do with that. Really, the problem here, as Sherlock Holmes would say, the game is afoot, right? And we need to tread a little gingerly on your intestinal tract for the next couple of months. There's also a product that you could add to your program that would facilitate the healing of the gut. And that's a product called Maquis Plus. It's M like Mary, A, Q like Queen, U-I. Maquis, M-A-Q-U-I Plus. That's a superfruit made from the maquis berry. It's loaded with antioxidants, which is very, very good for you. And it has aloe vera juice, which is very, very good to facilitate the healing of damaged mucous membranes. So you might want to throw the Maquis Plus in. I would take 1 ounce 2 or 3 times a day for 2 or 3 weeks. Add that to your program and then see. But listen, from the one particular perspective, this is a very good thing to have, our hands on, right? This is a very useful piece of therapeutic information here, man. What your experience means that your intestinal tract is in trouble. And knowing now that your gut is in trouble is going to help us to avoid tons of pain and suffering 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, right? We can drive right around this pothole, man, Otherwise, if we didn't see it, if you didn't try this, didn't know this was happening, it just would have been horrible for you. So knowing now what we know, we can make a change in our course right now, and making that change in the course is going to generate results. Remember, Butch, the proper medical nutrition program should be painless. It should be producing zero negative effects, right? So you're really good. You're spot on here, man. Now, you're the smartest man in class because, you're smart enough to call with a problem. Hey, doc, I got a problem. I'm taking the stuff. It gives me diarrhea. What the heck? Well, it's a good thing that you called because this is a big deal. We need to straighten this out and get it dialed in. And when we do straighten it out and get it dialed in, then your health is going to start to come back and come around. I get the sense I'm talking too much again. I have the tendency to do that. Any other questions, Butch? You get that? You get what I'm saying?
The only other thing is, could it be, I have birds, so I'd have to feed them, and could it be the gluten in the feed? Because we've cut out the gluten for at least 6 weeks now.
No, see, that's a great point. The gluten does not, the problem with the gluten is all of the gluten that you've eaten in your life so far. It's like the straws that break the camel's back. Every time you've been eating that stuff in your life, it's been a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a problem. It's built up. The damage has already been done. So what do? Well, we have to stop eating the food that's continuing to damage the situation. We don't want to create any more damage. But there's a lot of cleanup and healing now that has to happen in your gut moving forward. So, it's not the gluten that you're eating now or the gluten you're exposed to now that's causing the diarrhea. It's been all of the gluten that you've eaten in your life has really negatively impacted the health of your intestinal tract, and it's that damage that's in place now that we are trying to fix. It's kind of like, if you had a bad knee, you had really bad arthritis in the knee, and you'd had bad arthritis in the knee for 15 years. And then you call me up and say, hey, doc, I need to fix the bad arthritis in my knee. Well, we got to do a whole lot of cleanup first, right? So that's what I'm referencing here in the gluten talk. But, you can do it. And, I wouldn't worry about gluten that's in the bird food. Just worry about the gluten that's in the human food. Switch up the nutritional supplement and find one that does not give you diarrhea. And then once you dial that in, every couple of weeks you're going to feel better and better and better, and that's when life gets really good. So the question before the board is, hey, doc, how long does it take the body to heal from all this stuff? How long does it take your body to heal from a gluten intolerance? How long does it take your body to heal from all these net negative effects? How long does it take your blood sugar to normalize? How long does it take your blood pressure to normalize? How long does it take the joint to regenerate tissue? How long? Well, there's no spot-on answer for this, and nobody knows. Everybody's different. There are too many variables at play here, how compliant the person is with their protocol, how bad the situation is, how many illnesses are we trying to fix all at the same time, what's your height, what's your weight, what's your age, what's your vital force like, right? There's all these variables that come into play here. I've seen type 2 diabetes of 30 years duration resolve in 4 weeks. I've also seen it take 3 months to get better. I've seen high blood pressure of 20 years duration resolve in 7 days. I've also seen it take 3 months for people to get on the other side of it. The question isn't so much how long is it going to take as what is going on and what is the problem and what on earth can I do about it, right? Whether it takes a day, a week, a month, or a year, it's going to happen. Your body has the ability to fix itself. There are some things that the body can't fix. There are some conditions which are, have gone too far beyond the body's ability to fix itself. That does happen. It's rare. It happens. It's rare. Before I started working with Dr. Wallach 3-4 years ago, I thought I had a bead on how long it took the body to fix itself and what conditions you could fix and what conditions you couldn't, but I don't know anymore. Because the things I've seen people recover from following Dr. Wallach's methodology are remarkable. man. I saw a guy who he had a bracelet on his wrist. He was a candidate for a heart transplant. The bracelet was one of those beepers, you know. Oh, we've got your heart now. Come to the hospital immediately. It was that bad. He had congestive heart failure. He had pounds and pounds of excess water in his body. He started the nutritional recovery program, and within 7 days, I think it was 72 hours, he peed all the water out. It didn't need his diuretic anymore. Within 14 days, he was taken off the heart transplant list. And now, 2 years later, his heart's fine. I would never have expected that to be able to happen before I met Dr. Waller. So I don't know. Nobody knows. But really, what do we do here, and what is the fundamental belief that makes us sleep soundly at night? The fundamental belief here is that your body knows how to fix itself, your body wants to fix itself, and 99 times out of 100, the only things that your body needs to fix itself are the raw materials, the 90 essential nutrients that it needs. So here's our whole recommendation in a nutshell. Stop eating food that's damaging your body. Just stop it. And you can download that list at fireyourmdnow.com. It's called Good Food, Bad Food. It's right there. Number 1, stop eating the 10 bad foods. Number 2, take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for your body weight every day. Just take them. You need them. Number 3, secure at least 20,000 ORAC antioxidant points a day. 20,000 antioxidant points a day through nutritional supplements, food, or drink. If you clean your diet up, give your body the raw materials it needs in the form of the 90 essential nutrients, and increase your antioxidant intake, you are going to be a long way down the road of having your body be optimized to fix itself. And so I don't care if it takes 5 years, it's going to happen. The thing is, you're going to avoid a lot of potholes, a lot of landmines in the future, right? Make changes now and we avoid stuff in the future, and that's what we're all about. All right, Pat is calling. Pat's up next. Pat has a testimony. Pat, you went right to the top of the list. You are live with Dr. Glidden. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I want to make a confession. One, that I was trying to play Dr. Glidden and do some different things, and it didn't work out too well.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I know, right? Well, look, this is it, right? I mean, you go on the Internet, and everybody and their brother has an idea about what to do for your health, right?
Right.
I mean, they do.
Well, I had loose dose, and you told me to stop doing the BTT, just like the previous caller.
Yeah.
And when I went back to it about 4 days later, I only took it once a day, and I'm still taking it once a day. But I also stopped the calcium, and I only did the calcium once a day. I have had both my hips replaced, and after about 5 days, my hips started killing me. I went back to taking the calcium twice a day, and they're fine.
Now, isn't that something?
It has gone away.
I mean, isn't that something? 5 days? You kidding me?
Yeah.
I know. Hey, this is why I get up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 5 days. You've got to be kidding me. 2 hip replacements in pain. What are they going to do next? They're going to take one of them out, put a new one in. Oh, Pat, now you have the super-duper aluminum titanium hip. Aren't you the luckiest girl in town? No. I mean, it's crazy what we do. It's just crazy what we do.
That's what I was thinking about. Let me ask you this. If the BTT, because it's still happening sporadically, if I change to the Tropical Plus, does it have the same kinds of things that the BTT has?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's no harm and no foul in switching up. You're not going to lose anything at all. Zero. You can switch,
and I have
switch
not
that
been
out.
able to gain. I have not been able to gain weight, and my stomach growls all the time. So something's still not going right.
Well, look, the game is afoot, man, and we are not, we're not nearly in the land of health yet. We can see the land of health now. I mean, we're out of the valley of death and despair and pain. We're at the top of the rise, and we can see the valley of health. We're not there yet. But if you continue to do this discipline and eliminate the foods that are bad for you, Continue to take your calcium. Continue to take the 90 essential nutrients in a way that's user-friendly to your body, that doesn't give you diarrhea. Pat, man, it is only a matter of time until everything resolves. You're going to wake up one day and your appetite's going to be back. You're going to wake up one day, your energy's going to be back. It's going to be just like that. So you don't need to worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? Just find a program, switch up the supplements, try the Tropical Plus, see how you do with that. And, the goal here, right, is to be taking the nutritional supplements at a dose which is appropriate for your body weight, right? So what's your body weight right now?
100.
100 pounds? All right.
Yeah.
So you need to be taking 1 ounce of the Tropical Plus a day, 1 ounce of the calcium. I would do 1 ounce of the calcium twice a day because you have, 2 bad hips, right? I would do the calcium twice a day for 6 months. I would do double the dose of the calcium for 6 months. Double it. So I would do 1 ounce of calcium twice a day and 10 glucogel capsules a day. 10 glucogel capsules a day. And also, let's not forget the selenium. You can take 6 selenium a day, no problem. So do 6 selenium a day, 10 glucogel capsules a day, 6 essential fatty acids a day, 3 in the morning and 3 with dinner, and 1 ounce of the Tropical Plus once a day, and 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium twice a day. And you might get more bang from your buck from the Cal Toddy rather than the Osteo FX Plus. Are you doing the Osteo FX Plus now?
Yeah, I've been doing the Cal Toddy.
Good, Cal Toddy. Yeah, all right, good. That's what I would continue to do that, but I would double that up, especially if you're going to switch to the Tropical Plus, okay?
Okay.
All right, girl. All right, hey, anytime. I'm here to help you, and then once you help yourself, you're going to help your community, your family, your church. Everybody is going to be lifted up by your efforts, Pat, and that's what we do. That's how we roll. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate your time. Now, folks, I mean, we got something going on here, right? This is all we do. We just stop eating the food that's hurting the body. We dial in a nutritional program that your body can tolerate, that's appropriate for your body weight, that provides your body with the raw materials that it needs to fix itself. And then we step out of the way and let the body fix itself. And, it's magic. Pat's got 2 fake hips. She stops the OsteoFX. She stops liquid calcium for 4 days. The hip pain comes back. She takes it, and the hip pain goes away. And it's not a pain medication, by the way. This is not a pain medication. What it's doing is providing the raw materials that her hips need to maintain their health. You need to drink water every day. You need to eat food every day. You need to breathe air all the time. If you stop breathing, stop eating, or stop drinking, your body's going to suffer, and then you're going to die. Well, if you don't take the 90 essential nutrients every day, you're going to suffer, and then you're going to die. And your knucklehead MD is going to blame it all on genetics. And then your relatives are going to all get together, and they're going to do a 5K run to end your particular medical condition. Let's raise money for, the Fibromyalgia Association, right? Let's raise money for the Cystic Fibrosis Association. And then when you generate $1 million and you give it to Emory University, or you give it to the University of Wisconsin, or you give it to whomever you give it to, and some knucklehead there comes up with a drug that manages the problem, are they going to give you a cut of the proceeds? Are they going to give all the people that donated the money any piece of that action? No. They're going to take the money and run, baby, because medicine in the United States is a for-profit industry, and you better wrap your head around that. You better wrap your head around it right now. You just walk into the emergency room, it's $1,000, period. By the way, let me tell you a story. A couple of years ago, I was having a pain in my right lower abdomen. I didn't know what was causing it, and I was getting nervous. So I figured I would get some discovery done. I wanted to have an ultrasound and an X-ray. So I shopped around. If I was to go to the local hospital, and I live in Chicago, if I was to go to a local hospital and get the stuff done, one X-ray at that hospital was going to cost $565. I went to a chiropractor's office and got the X-ray $25. Well, which is better, $25 or $565? Well, guess what? $25. I also wanted to have this new technique called an ultrasound. It was a special high-definition ultrasound. If I wanted that procedure done at the hospital, it was going to be, I think, $475, right around there in that ballpark. I went to an imaging facility, an independent imaging facility, right? It was $125. I saved $350 just by going to a different place. Medicine in the United States is a for-profit industry. There's nothing wrong with making money. However, when you mix a for-profit industry with a monopoly, and that is fueled by insurance, a third-party insurance payer, oh my God. The only people that are going to win are the people who own the insurance companies, the people who own the hospitals, and the people who own the drug companies. And guess who's going to suffer? You're going to suffer. You don't believe me? You better. You go to fireyourmdnow.com and download the document right there on the front page, Death by Medicine. You know what the leading cause of death in the United States is? Your MD. Treatments delivered by your medical doctor are more dangerous and kill more people than heart disease and kill more people than cancer. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Pull off to the side of the road and think about that for 60 seconds in a row. If your head's not exploding, if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. I am as serious as a heart attack when I say it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to fire your MD now. Pick up the phone and give me a call, 866-582-9933. Naturopath, and I'm bringing 20-plus years of clinical experience delivering non-drug, science-based, clinically verified therapeutics to the masses to help people recover their health. The only reason that we're suffering as much as we're suffering here in the United States, quite frankly, in industrialized nations, third world countries often have it better than we do in their longevity and in their relationship to chronic illness, because they don't use conventional medicine. China, for instance, is a perfect example. China has, almost 10 times as many people as we do. It's an enormous amount of people that are in China. And do they have a healthcare crisis in China? No. Is medical care the leading cause of bankruptcy in China? No. They have, 1 billion people in China. And why isn't their economy collapsing under the weight of medical care? Because in China, they use Western medicine. They use pharmaceutical medicine. They use MD-directed allopathic reductionistic medicine only for trauma and acute disease. For everything else, they use acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. That's why they don't have a healthcare crisis, because they don't have, number one, they don't have the Western diet, and number two, they use Western medicine, MD-directed allopathic medicine appropriately for trauma and for injury, for surgery when it's necessary, and for infectious disease. My colleague, Dr. Wallach, and his wife, Milan, who's an MD, but trained in China, she's a microsurgeon, right? Extremely respected, extremely sought after, major surgical theaters all around the world because, she can knit little tiny vascular systems back together. She can knit nerves and nerve endings back together. It's amazing. Really, it's amazing. Dr. Wallach and his wife were in China on tour, and there was an epidemic disease in northwestern China called Keishan's disease. It was in Keishan province. Keishan disease was a variant of cystic fibrosis, and there were all of these kids, all of these people in this one province in China who developed this chronic illness of the lungs, and it was, for all intents and purposes, a variant of cystic fibrosis, where the lung tissue and the pancreas fills up with connective tissue, and it's not good. And you die from it. And Dr. Wallach looked at this, and his wife Milan looked at it, and they did autopsies, and they did tissue samples while they were in China, right? And they discovered that this illness, Keishan disease, was caused by not enough of the mineral selenium in the bodies of the people who had the illness. And as it turns out, that one particular province in China, Kaishan province, had 0 selenium in the soil. There was none. Didn't exist. There was no selenium in the soil at all. As a matter of fact, nobody wanted to live in Kaishan province because it was one of those places kind of like Death Valley, right? I mean, not that hot, but it was devoid of life. Nobody wanted to go there, and the Chinese government figured out, well, we've got all these people, we've got to put them somewhere. Here's Kaishan province, there ain't nobody there, so we're going to build an entire city right there, boom, and they just plop it down. You know, they plop down cities like we plop down bridges, right? And so you've got all these people living in Kaishan province, and they all suffered from the unexpected, unintended consequence of not enough nutrients in the soil. And in China, they don't eat like we do in the United States. They don't truck stuff in from all over the world. Not to Kaishan province, they don't. United States, you go down to the supermarket, you're going to have a tomato from Argentina. It's going to be right next to Brussels sprouts from France. Right next to each other. We get stuff shipped in from all around the world, so our fruits and vegetables have the possibility of having more selenium in them, more nutritional supplements in there, more nutrients in them than those that are just grown locally. Because when your stuff is grown locally, you've got what the soil's got and you got nothing else. Now, there's no soil anywhere in the world that has all of the stuff your body needs. But in Kaishan province, they ended Kaishan's disease by giving those children and the people in that province a simple little selenium supplement, completely eliminated an epidemic disease. And that's what medical nutrition can do for you. This is the unheralded success of medical nutrition. Get it together, ladies and gentlemen. Take your nutritional supplements, clean up your diet, and most importantly, fire your MD now. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, looking for you tomorrow.